The true story of the New Zealand family who vanished into the bush in 2023 captivated people worldwide, sparking concern, confusion, and a media frenzy. The family, identified as the Tompsons, consisted of Tom and Sarah Tompson and their 3 children, Jack, 15 years at the time, Emily, 13, and Michael, 9. What was intended as a short retreat into nature turned into a mysterious disappearance that left authorities and the public searching for answers. The Tompson family was, by all accounts, a picture-perfect example of a loving, adventurous household. Tom, the father, was a successful software developer with a knack for solving complex problems. His work often kept him glued to his computer, but his heart was always with his family. Sarah, his wife, was a dedicated primary school teacher, loved by her students for her warm, nurturing nature. They had 3 children: Jack, 15, who was passionate about soccer; Emily, 13, a budding artist; and Michael, 9, a curious and energetic boy who was always up for an adventure. The Tompsons were known for their love of the outdoors. Most weekends they could be found hiking through New Zealand's national parks, camping by the pristine lakes, or exploring the rugged coastline. Nature was their escape, a way to disconnect from the demands of daily life and reconnect with each other. Tom, especially, found solace in the wilderness. He often spoke of the peace he felt when surrounded by nature, far from the noise and stress of the city. In July 2023, after months of grueling work, Tom decided it was time for a family getaway, a week-long retreat into the heart of the Kaimai-Mamaku Forest Park. This was not their first adventure in the bush, but it was to be their most ambitious. Tom had meticulously planned the trip, choosing a route that would take them deep into the forest, far from the popular trails. It was meant to be a complete escape, a chance for the family to immerse themselves in nature, with no distractions from the outside world. On July 12, 2023, the Tompsons packed their gear into their SUV and set off from their Auckland home. They were well prepared, carrying everything they needed for the week-long journey: tents, sleeping bags, food supplies, a first aid kit, and navigation tools. Tom had even brought along a portable solar charger to ensure they could keep their phones charged, though he insisted they'd be used sparingly. This trip was about disconnecting from the digital world and reconnecting with nature and with each other. As they drove away, their neighbors waved them off with smiles, unaware that this would be the last time anyone would see the Tompsons. The first few days of the Tompsons' adventure went as planned. They followed the trail deep into the Kaimai-Mamaku Forest Park, surrounded by towering trees and the sounds of the forest. Sarah, as she often did during their trips, kept a journal, documenting their journey with detailed entries about the scenery, the wildlife, and the joy of being together in nature. But as they ventured deeper into the forest, the path became less defined, and Tom decided to lead the family off the marked trail. What started as an exciting adventure soon took a dark turn. The forest grew denser, the canopy thicker, blocking out much of the sunlight. The mood shifted from excitement to unease as they pressed on into the wilderness. By the fourth day, the Tompsons were far from any recognizable trails. The forest, once a source of peace and enjoyment, now felt oppressive and foreboding. Sarah's journal entries reflected this growing tension, hinting at Tom's increasing obsession with exploring deeper into the unknown. The family was supposed to return home on July 19, but they never did. When days passed without any word from them, Sarah's sister grew concerned and contacted the authorities. On July 21, a search and rescue operation was launched. Search teams scoured the Kaimai-Mamaku Forest Park, starting with the marked trails, before expanding into the uncharted areas where the Tompsons were believed to have gone. The search involved police volunteers, military personnel, and helicopters equipped with thermal imaging, all working tirelessly to find the missing family. As the days turned into weeks, the search grew more desperate. The dense forest, with its thick undergrowth, steep ravines, and treacherous terrain, seemed to swallow up any trace of the Tompsons. The searchers, many of whom were seasoned outdoorsmen, began to report strange occurrences. Distant cries that seemed to come from nowhere, shadows flickering just out of sight, and an overwhelming sense of being watched. The media quickly picked up on the mystery. The story of the missing Tompson family captivated the nation. Theories about their disappearances ranged from a tragic accident to something more sinister. But despite the extensive efforts, no trace of the family were found. Nearly a month after the Tompsons disappeared, on August 9, a breakthrough came when David Reynolds, a lone hiker, stumbled upon a hidden clearing deep within the forest. At first, he thought it was an old campsite, but as he looked closer, he realized it was more recent. The scene was unsettling. A tent lay collapsed, with scattered belongings, a child's shoe, a half-empty water bottle, and a jacket strewn around it. But the most chilling discovery was a small, withered journal lying in the dirt. Recognizing its importance, Reynolds quickly alerted the authorities. When the investigators arrived, they confirmed that the journal belonged to Sarah Tompson. The entries provided the most detailed account yet of the family's final days, and painted a harrowing picture of their descent into fear and desperation. The following are the final entries from Sarah's journal, discovered at the abandoned campsite. July 15. The forest is different here. Darker, quieter. Tom seems unfazed, but I can't shake this feeling of unease. It's as if we're being watched. The children are restless, especially Michael. He keeps asking when we're going back to the trail, but Tom is insistent that we press on. July 16. Tom barely spoke today. He's so fixated on this idea that we need to keep going, that there's something out here worth finding. I tried to talk to him about turning back, but he just brushed me off. The forest is closing in around us, and I can't shake this sense of dread. July 17. Last night was the worst yet. Emily woke up crying, saying she saw something in the trees. Tom dismissed it as a dream, but I'm not so sure. The noises, they're getting louder, closer. I don't know what's out there, but it feels like we're not alone. Tom still refuses to turn back. He says we're close, but close to what? I'm scared. July 18. We found an old trail today, barely visible through the undergrowth. Tom is convinced this is the way forward. I'm not so sure. The forest feels different now, almost hostile. The air is thick, heavy with something I can't quite describe. We're all exhausted, but Tom won't stop. He says we're close. I wish I knew what he was looking for. July 19. Tom says we're almost there, but I don't know where there is. The forest is closing in, and the noises, they're all around us now. I'm scared. I don't know what's out there, but it feels like we're being hunted. I don't want to go any further, but Tom, he's not listening anymore. I don't think we're going to make it out. Despite the discovery of Sarah's journal, the Tompson family themselves were never found. The search team scoured the area around the campsite, but found no further traces of the family. The case was eventually closed, with the official conclusion being that the family likely perished in the wilderness, though without bodies or definitive evidence, their fate remains a mystery. The disappearance of the Tompson family has sparked numerous theories, ranging from the plausible to the more fantastical. Given the eerie details from Sarah's journal and the mysterious circumstances of their vanishing, the case has become fertile ground for speculation. Here are some of the most discussed theories. The most widely accepted theory is that the Tompson family simply became lost in the dense and unforgiving wilderness. The Kaimai-Mamaku Forest Park is known for its challenging terrain with steep gorges, thick undergrowth, and unpredictable weather. It's possible that after leaving the marked trail, the family became disoriented and was unable to find their way back. This could have led to exhaustion, dehydration, or injury, ultimately resulting in their deaths. The discovery of their abandoned campsite supports this theory, suggesting they may have been trying to survive as long as possible before succumbing to the elements. Another theory centers on the possibility that Tom, who led the family off the marked trail, may have suffered a mental breakdown. Sarah's journal entries hint at Tom's increasing obsession with finding something deeper in the forest and his refusal to turn back despite the growing unease. Some speculate that Tom might have become disillusional driven by stress, fatigue, or even an undiagnosed mental health issue, leading him to take dangerous risks that ultimately resulted in the family's demise. This theory is supported by Sarah's later entries, which describe Tom's growing detachment and fixation. Some believe that the Tompson family might have intentionally disappeared, perhaps to start a new life off the grid. This theory posits that Tom, disillusioned with modern life, might have led his family into the wilderness as part of a plan to escape society permanently. Proponents of this theory point to Tom's supposed statements about reconnecting with nature and the idea that they were being watched, which could suggest a desire to withdraw from the pressures of the outside world. However, this theory is less credible given the apparent fear and desperation in Sarah's journal entries. Given the eerie details in Sarah's journal, such as the strange noises at night, the sense of being watched, and the final frantic entry, some have speculated that the family encountered something supernatural in the forest. New Zealand is rich in Maori legends and folklore, some of which speak of malevolent spirits or entities that inhabit the deep forest. According to this theory, the Tompsons may have inadvertently disturbed something ancient and otherworldly, which led to their disappearance. While this theory is highly speculative and lacks evidence, it has captured the public imagination due to the mysterious nature of the case. Another theory is that the family might have encountered foul play while in the wilderness. This theory suggests that they could have come across someone with malicious intent, perhaps a fugitive, a hermit, or a group of individuals living off the grid who harmed them and covered up the evidence. However, there is little concrete evidence to support this theory, and the remote nature of their location makes it less likely that they would have encountered other people in the depths of the forest. A less sensational theory is that the family fell victim to environmental hazards specific to the area. The Kaimai-Mamaku Forest Park is known for its unpredictable weather, and it's possible that the family was caught in a sudden storm, flash flood, or other natural disaster. They may have sought shelter in a cave or crevice, only to become trapped or injured. This theory aligns with the idea that the family could have succumbed to the harsh conditions of the wilderness, with their bodies remaining undiscovered due to the dense foliage and rugged terrain. A darker and more controversial theory is that Tom, under extreme mental distress, may have harmed his family before taking his own life. This theory is largely speculative, but has been discussed due to the lack of evidence and the growing tension described in Sarah's journal. The idea that Tom became increasingly fixated on something in the forest and led his family deeper into danger could suggest a tragic turn in his mental state. However, this theory is not widely accepted due to the lack of concrete evidence and the absence of bodies or clear signs of violence. Another speculative theory is that the family might have encountered a secretive group or cult in the forest. There are stories and urban legends about hidden communities in remote areas of New Zealand, and some have suggested that the Tompsons could have stumbled upon one such group, leading to their disappearance. This theory is largely fueled by imagination and lacks credible evidence, but it remains a point of interest for those who believe in hidden societies operating in isolation from the rest of the world. To this day, the disappearance of the Tompson family remains a mystery, with no single theory providing a definitive answer. The case continues to fascinate and haunt those who hear it, leaving behind an unsettling question. What really happened to the Tompsons in the depths of the Kaimai-Mamaku Forest Park? The truth may never be known, but the myriad theories surrounding their fate only add to the eerie and tragic legacy of their final journey.